So now from this graph we need to read some x and y information. For example, right here it's hitting the y-axis at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and -7 at the lowest. And then if I use a ruler, go straight across the top, it's hitting right there. So that's at 3. So if I average those two, I can find out what's in the middle. So a 3 plus a -7 divided by 2 is going to be -4 divided by 2, or in the middle is -2. So right here at -2, that's in the middle. So that means that the function was shifted down by 2. As well as if I measure the length from here to here, which is 5, or I measure the length from here to here, which is 5, I've got the amplitude is equal to 5, and since this is the middle of the graph, the vertical shift is that it was moved down by 2. And now for the x information. So I need to follow this thing for one cycle. So from the bottom it goes up, and then it reaches the bottom again right about here. And so that, as far as the x, is going to be right about here. So that's at 2 point something. So I could just say that's approximately 2.2 or approximately 2.1. Looks closer to 2.1. But then I'm a little more curious than that. I want to know, is that something pi? Well, I know that pi itself is 3, so it's got to be pi over something. Is it pi divided by 2? No, that's not 2 point something. Is it pi divided by 3? No, of course that's getting even smaller. But then I noticed that this, if I were to double it, is going to be 2 point something small. So if I have double that, so 2 pi divided by 3, it's approximately 2.1. So I'm going to go with that. Of course, if you want to just use 2.1, that's fine, but I want to be a little more accurate and say this is at 2 pi divided by 3. So that means to create one cycle, it went from 0 to 2 pi over 3. So the period is 2 pi divided by 3. So usually for period we say, well, the period you get from taking 2 pi with sine and cosine, and then divide by b, which is the number that was sitting in front of x. Well, you can cross multiply or have these two trade places and have b equal to 2 pi divided by the period. So in other words, in here we can find out that the b is 2 pi divided by 2 pi over 3. Then invert and multiply. So multiply by 3 over 2 pi. Multiply by 3 over 2 pi. And these cancel, and it leaves, well, actually the 2 pi cancels also, and it turns out that the b is a 3. So in the function there was a 3x. And then as far as phase shift, there's none, because this started at the y-axis. So if it would have started out here, say at 1, then we'd have a phase shift of 1, but there's no phase shift. And now putting this all together, we've got y is equal to, so down by 2, amplitude of 5, and then which trig function is it? Well, this actually looks like it's negative cosine because it starts at the bottom and goes up. So to make it be inverted, I need to have this be a negative 5. Not a problem. Okay, maybe it's just a little problem. This is supposed to be a negative. And then cosine, the b was the 3, so that should do it. And then check out the graph. Negative 2, subtract 5 cosine of 3x, and then have the window look the same as this. So that has x going from 0 to 2 pi, and y from negative 10 to 10. And then take a look at the graph, and sure enough, that's it.